Good morning, boys and girls. Miss Janie again. So glad to be with you today. We've been studying about Adam and Eve in the garden. And yesterday, Adam and Eve ate of the fruit of the tree that God told them not to eat of. And so they knew they had done wrong. And there they were in the garden. And remember what happened? They hid from God. They hid from God when He came down to walk with them in the evening. And they knew that they had sinned. And God knew it too. And so they were so afraid of what God would say. And God told them, He said, I created this beautiful garden for you. And now, with what you've done, sin has entered. And I can't have that. So Adam and Eve were there. And you know what God did? When Adam and Eve started back through the garden, God had placed an angel with a flaming sword. Oh my! God meant business. He put that angel there with that flaming sword, and Adam and Eve weren't allowed in the garden anymore. They weren't allowed. How sad. And God told Adam, He said, from now on, Adam, you're going to have to work the land. If you want food that I've given you all this time, you're going to have to work for it. And Eve, your life is going to be hard too. You are going to have such a hard time, a hard life. You are both going to have to work. Oh my, because they disobeyed what God said. Isn't that amazing, boys and girls? God had given them all that He created, all that He said was good. And yet they threw it away over a piece of fruit. They threw it away over what they thought they would have. I know that you've all heard that saying, probably the grass is always greener on the other side of the fence. But then when you get to the other side of the fence, it's the same yard you were in the whole time. Oh my goodness. And here Adam and Eve have thrown away everything that they had just because they thought they could be something they weren't. Oh, that's sad, isn't it? And so they had to leave the Garden of Eden. They had to go out and live in the world, the land that was rocky and hard. Adam had to plow the land, and he couldn't just go out and pick fruit off the trees, or he couldn't just go over and pick a carrot up out of the ground. He had to grow them himself. He had to work from sunup to sundown. Isn't that sad, boys and girls? Sad that just because they disobeyed. Boys and girls, when we disobey our parents, I know when I was young and disobeyed my parents, I was punished. When I have two sons, when they were young and at home, they were punished when they did things wrong. I have grandchildren. My grandchildren were punished when they did things wrong. God lets us see that doing something wrong doesn't make it right. So we have to be punished for what we do. And because Adam and Eve sinned, because of sin, oh my. But you remember last week when we talked about the last week in the life of Jesus, how that Jesus' blood covers those sins. Boys and girls, today, if you have sin in your life, you can talk to Jesus, and Jesus will take His blood, and He'll cover those sins in your life. Isn't that a great thing? Isn't that so special? How many times have we said over and over, you are so special to God, and He loves you so much. Adam and Eve had to leave the garden because there wasn't room in the garden for sin. There's not room in your heart for sin and for God too. We have to choose. We have to choose which one we're going to follow. Adam and Eve chose the fruit and chose to follow sin at that point. And it made God so sad. You know, boys and girls, God loves us so much. And again, I say, you are so special to Him. And He loves you so much. Come back tomorrow and let's learn more of our story about Adam and Eve.